In the year 2000, I didn't exist. But on January 17th, 2001, I was born. Then, 2 years later, the smash hit film Kangaroo Jack was released in theaters.
Hey everyone, it's Riker. I just moved. It's my birthday and I'm tired. Let's talk about Kangaroo Jack. More like Kangaroo Jack me off, am I right? Kangaroo Jack is a movie about two friends, Charlie and Lewis, being sent to America by Christopher Walken so that they can die, but then hijinks happen. If you know anything about Kangaroo Jack, it's probably the talking kangaroo, but the talking part is only one small scene in the movie, though there are scenes where Jackie Legs does silly things to entertain the children watching. However, no one really talks about what happens in the rest of the movie, which is what I was interested in when I decided to watch it, and what I hope to discuss today, alongside another piece of Kangaroo Jack media I've never seen brought up before. The film starts off with a scene at the beach where Charlie is with his mom and new stepdad, Christopher Walken, who is the head of a gang in the Big Fapple. One of his boys throws a football into the water, and Charlie goes after it but can't swim and almost drowns, but is saved by Lewis, a kid he met on the beach earlier. This starts off a long-lasting, toxic friendship based entirely off the fact that Lewis saved Charlie's life once, so he owes him. The movie time skips, and now Charlie runs a salon that his mafia boss stepdad bought for him when Lewis comes in and guilts him into helping move a truck of TVs, which they find out is a stolen truck, leading to a really entertaining car chase throughout the city, ending with cops crashing into a truck full of fish when the guys get to a warehouse by the ocean. Throughout the chase, CRTs are just flying out of the back of the truck, and there's this part where they fall down a subway staircase, and I swear one of them hits an extra. It was really good. Fortunately for Charlie, the warehouse happens to be a place where Christopher Walken hides stolen goods, and he and Lewis just led the cops straight to them, leading to members of the gang being arrested and the goods being confiscated, while Charlie and Lewis escape. When Walken finds out about this, he sends the two of them to Australia to give a guy money, which they end up finding out is to pay for their own execution. The rest of the movie is just them kind of bumbling around Australia until the two run into the gang members and their executor. Of course, they do end up running into the titular Kangaroo Jack and accidentally put the jacket with the money on him, leading to the main conflict of the movie and trying to get the money back. Eventually, they run into Jesse, a wildlife conservationist who is also from America, who tries to help them find Jackie Legs, and is a character I actually want to discuss a bit later. The movie ends with the main group, the gang members, who came to Australia to get the money back from the executor who was supposed to kill Charlie and Lewis because they never intended on letting him keep the money, and the person who was supposed to kill Charlie and Lewis, chasing Jackie Legs throughout the outbacks of Australia. Eventually, they reach a situation where Lewis is hanging off of a cliff and Charlie rescues him, causing Lewis to say that there's no reason for the two of them to stay friends anymore, since they're even now, but Charlie disagrees and says that they weren't friends just because Lewis saved him once, which is actually really touching considering that throughout the movie, Charlie has been shitting on Lewis the whole time. The movie ends with Charlie and Jesse hooking up and the three of them starting a shampoo company. Now that the rundown is over, it's time to talk about some things in the film in more depth, specifically one big part. Overall, I found the movie to be surprisingly enjoyable despite my initial idea of what the film would be. I actually found the conflict with the mafia, the killer, and the interactions between Lewis and Charlie to be entertaining, and the development and change that Charlie goes through to finally appreciate Lewis as a friend is nice. However, there's one big issue with Charlie that I need to talk about. Sorry folks, it's time to cancel Kangaroo Jack. Charlie as a character is an absolute fucking creep. When he first sees Jessie on the plane, he just gives her this creepy ass smile. Then when they run into her again, he assumes she's a mirage due to the scene beforehand where he saw a mirage, so he grabs her chest, leading to him getting knocked out. Then there's this scene where she's bathing in a waterfall, and he walks over, and she's like, "What the fuck, dude, go away." And he's like, "Nah," and then jumps in, and they kiss, and it's weird and uncomfortable, and then they get together, and it's just strange. The way that Charlie treats Jesse and them getting together in the end at all is absolutely bizarre, but of course it is an early 2000s movie, so there has to be romance in there somehow. Anyways, enough that boring shit. It's time to talk about what you're really here for. Kangaroo Jack, good day USA. First off, I would like to thank the universe for giving me this brand new, never opened copy of Kangaroo Jack 2, and I can tell it's new because it still has this Captain Crunch coupon that expired in 2005. However, it does have this weird white sticker on the back, which, when I lifted it up, revealed that someone had dug out the barcode for some reason, but my case still had the anti-theft tape on it. Anyways, the movie begins with Charlie and Lewis running through the forest while being chased by animals, only for it to be revealed that they were filming an ad for the new shampoo, which is being directed by none other than Jackie Legs. And all the animals are talking. Clearly, this isn't actually happening in the film's world, as it is revealed that it was actually a dream that Lewis was having as the gang returned to Australia to find a new shampoo smell as their business is failing. While traveling, they run into a group of Aborigines Australians who, Okay, listen, I know basically nothing about the Aboriginal people of Australia or how they have been treated historically, except that they have been treated extremely poorly. But I think that the representation in this film might be a bit insensitive. That's right, it's time to cancel Kangaroo Jack. Again. One part of the first film that I wasn't originally going to mention until I saw G'day USA involves the group covering their scent so they can get close to Jackie Legs to capture him. While covering their scent, they also put on body paint that is incredibly similar to the designs of the Aboriginal characters in the movie. I don't know if this is a faithful portrayal of the Aboriginal people or their culture, but I think it is worth mentioning that this stuff happens in the first movie to an extent. One thing that definitely has roots in racism is their portrayal as magic men, in much the same way that Native Americans are treated in lots of fictional stories set in America. Seriously, if this movie was set in America, they would just be Native Americans, and nothing they say or do would fundamentally change. The Aboriginal men take the group to their cave, where they explain that their magic crystals were stolen by two men and that, according to their cave paintings, Charlie and Lewis are the chosen ones, but they can't see what happens at the end of their story as it has been damaged by water. With this new info, the group leave the cave and watches poachers kidnap Jackie Legs, leading them to follow the group and hide on a plane that's on its way to Las Vegas, so they can get Jack home. When they land in Vegas, Lewis gets in contact with his limo driver / exterminator cousin who helps them escape with Jackie and is convinced he is on a prank show. By the way, this guy is the best character in the movie, but for the life of me, I can't remember his name, and I don't feel like looking it up because it's not that big of a deal to me. It's fucking Kangaroo Jack 2, I don't give a shit. This leads to a car chase through the streets of Vegas where the entire city is colored like that one part of Earthbound where all the buildings are black with neon lines. While I think this is obviously a cost-cutting decision made for this scene, it actually looks fairly nice. The rest of the movie is the gang attempting to get Jackie Legs, who escaped during the car chase, with only a few notable parts to the film. The first notable part is another dream sequence where Lewis watches a boxing match between Jackie Legs and some boxer character, while Jackie sings the song Mama Said Knock You Out by LL Cool J, and it goes on for 3 minutes. Another notable part is the reveal of the main villain, who I'm pretty sure is supposed to be a parody of Steve Irwin, who tragically passed away 2 years after this movie came out. Also, the main villain has a fake Australian accent, and his real voice is a mobster accent. It's really weird. The movie ends with the gang tricking the Steve Irwin character into announcing his plans to steal the diamonds live on TV and gets arrested, while the characters go back to Australia to return the crystals to the Aboriginal people. As a way of saying thank you, the leader of the group uses the crystals to give them the ability to speak with animals. The characters have one final talk with Jackie Legs and then walk into the sunset, never to be seen again. Well, that's Kangaroo Jack. Thanks for watching. I'm tired. Give me money and subscribe or whatever. Happy birthday to Jim Carrey and Betty White as well. I'm gonna go to bed for the rest of the year.